Hello. Today I'm going to be taking you through just a few very basic techniques to get your fingers working and to improve your strength and dexterity on both hands. So the first one we're going to be doing, I like to call either the spider walk or the finger walk. And we're going to start on the E string, first fret, and we're going to walk our fingers up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to move to the A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally the G string. And as soon as we get to the fourth finger on the G string, we're going to move that shape up one fret, and we're going to walk it down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to move to the next lower string, D string. 4, 3, 2, 1. A string. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then finally E string. 4, 3, 2, 1. We get to 1 on the E string, we move it up one fret. And we repeat the whole pattern again. And we're going to do that until our fourth finger reaches the 12th fret of the G string. So let's try that. You can try it out a few times. I'm going to start the metronome. We're going to do it together. And we're going to do one note per click. So let's give it a try. We're going to start at 1 and we're going to stop when our fourth finger reaches the 12th fret. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. All right, how'd you do? You might find that your hand got a little tired. Your fourth finger might have gotten a little tired reaching for that fourth fret, but that's okay. Um, this is a good one to try. I was doing it on 100 BPM. So if that's a good place for you, maybe try that a few times. If it's a little fast, you can back the tempo down. If you nail it with no mistakes and your fingers are feeling good, feel free to bump that tempo up and keep going. So I was kind of being a little laissez-faire with the right hand. I was just playing whatever finger kind of was comfortable. I would suggest if you're going to go faster, you really get in a kind of two-finger pattern here. I can show my right hand a little bit. Like that, you know. And if the right hand is slowing you down, mute your strings and just try that pattern with the right hand. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, until your right hand can catch up with the speed. If the left hand's giving you trouble, maybe just mute the strings with the right hand and try to go through that kind of like spider walking pattern with the fingers to practice that. Okay, the next pattern I'm going to be doing is our octave pattern. So we're going to start in the exact same place. So if we skip a string and go up 2 frets, so if I'm on the E string and I skip my A string and go to my D string and go up 2 frets, it's the same note. F, F. They're just the distance of an octave, so 8 notes apart. So for this exercise, we're going to be playing around with doing the octave. Then we'll move up 1 fret, but we'll move down 1 string. So then we'll go to the A string, and we'll play the octave on the G string. So again, we're starting on the A string. We're going to skip the D string and move up 2 frets. And there's our octave. So I like to play my octave with my pinky, because eventually you're going to want to be doing what we call a power chord shape, which is going to involve the first, fourth, and third finger. So playing the octave with your 4th finger kind of gets you ready for that. If your 4th finger isn't quite strong enough, feel free to play this with your 3rd finger. Just make sure that the pinky isn't curling under or tucking behind the neck. Make sure that it's out, ready to go if you were to call on it. Okay, so we're going to continue this pattern up the neck and end same place we did for the Spiderwalk, when our 4th finger or pinky reaches the 12th fret. That's your double dots. So we're going to start E, D, A, G. Then when we go up at the next fret, we're going to go back to E. E, D, up a fret, A, G. We're going to continue that all the way up the neck. So maybe play with that octave shape a little bit. If that's still hard for you, you might want to try it without the metronome, just moving very slowly so you're not getting any buzziness in your notes. You want them to be nice and clear, no buzz. For my right hand, I'm using my 1st finger for the lower note, my 2nd finger for the higher note. This will get more important as you speed up, but it's a good habit to get into. All right, let's try it at the same tempo. And we're going to try and go all the way up the neck until we reach the 12th fret with our 4th finger. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice. So you'll notice I'm doing 2 clicks per note this time. Otherwise, we'd be moving pretty quickly. So we'll keep it at a conservative tempo with 2 clicks per note. Let's try that one more time. Just make sure that your notes are not ringing together. We don't want those notes to ring together. We want clear, defined notes. So what I'm doing with my 1st finger is once I play the 1st note, picking it up slightly to mute. You hear how the sound stops when I just gently pick my finger up. So it's still touching the string, but not pushing down the fret hard enough to make a sound. And then I can play the 2nd one, right? So this is called right hand muting. It's going to be really important when playing bass. So try to get that so we're not having notes ringing together, but ringing separately. Let's try it again one more time, integrating some of those techniques we talked about. Remember, 2 clicks per note, and we're going to stop when we reach the 12th fret with our 4th finger. Let's give this a try. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice. How'd you do? Again, if that tempo is a little too fast for you, feel free to back it down. If you're nailing it, your fingers feel great, and you're getting all that left hand muting going on between notes, then feel free to bump that tempo up a little bit. There are plenty of metronome apps on the internet or on your phone that you can use if you don't have an old school metronome like me. All right, we got one more little technique, and this is our G major scale. So there's lots of different scales and modes and collections of notes that we can play on our bass. The first and most basic one that everything is kind of based off of is the major scale. So a scale, if you don't know, is just a collection of pitches. In this case, for our G major scale, it's going to be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then we're back to G. And you see that octave is both of our G's. All right, so let's go through this. We got 7 pitches before it restarts, and we're actually going to learn a couple more after that G to continue up, just to play as many notes as we can in this first position before we have to move our hand. So we're going to start with our second finger, that's our middle finger, on the 3rd fret of the E string. That's our first G. You might be thinking, well, why don't I just use my first finger? Well, we actually have to play the 2nd fret quite a lot in this scale. So playing the 3rd with our 2nd finger makes it easier so we don't have to make a position change. The whole point of learning this position is so that our hand can just do its thing, play all the notes we need to before we actually have to move positions. All right, so let's start with our 2nd finger on 3 of E. Then our 4th finger is going to play 5 of E. We're then going to move down to the A string, and that 1st finger, like I said, is going to go back to the 2nd fret of the A string. Then the 2nd finger plays 3rd fret. 4th finger plays 5th fret again. Then we're going to move down to the D string. 1st finger plays 2nd fret. 3rd finger is going to play 4th fret this time. And then 4th finger is going to play 5th fret. We got one more string with a few more notes. Even though we've reached our octave, we're going to repeat again. So our 1st finger is going to play 2nd fret again. 3rd finger plays 4th fret. 4th finger plays 4th fret. 5th fret, sorry. Getting my numbers all confused. So all together, I'll just call it out by frets first, so as not to confuse you, then I'll call it out by finger numbers. Let's start with the 3rd fret on E. So, on E string, we have 3, 5. Move to the A string, we have 1, 2, 3, 5. Then on the D string, we have 2, 4, 5. And then on the G string, we have 2, 4, and 5. All right, so there's your fret numbers. Now we're going to call it out by finger numbers. And I think this is the easiest way to think of these. That way, if we move it to a different place on the neck, like say the 8th fret here, we can play the same kind of scale with different notes, but the finger position stays exactly the same. So let's learn it by fingers now. So we're going to start our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, and then I'm going to call out just finger numbers and then strings. So starting on the E string, we have 2nd finger, 4th finger. Moving on to the A string, we have 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger. On the D string, we have 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger. And on the G string, it's the same. 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger. All right, so give this scale a try. once you can do all the way up, try going backwards. Until you can do it right up and down, no sweat. Right? All right, give that a try, and once you've mastered that, we can move on to some more complicated scales. All right, have fun with that.